Hello, guys. Welcome back to week 3 with me, Mr. Renner, and Miss Kinnaman. We are going to go ahead and get started with football skills week 3. If I can. So for today, you're going to need. So we have different balls you might want to use today. So there's a beach ball, a bunch of bags tied up together, one of them, a bunch of them on each side of one big bag, a soccer ball, and a football. So the class overview for today, we're going to welcome you like we just did. We're going to start off with our warm-up to get you moving and active. And then we're going to move into our health activity, what we're going to be learning today in the classroom, and our activities, and then our closure. So for our warm-up, we're going to watch this video. You guys are going to follow along.
What's up? We're gonna wake our bodies and our brains up with a good stretch. You ready? Let's get that neck rolling. And reverse.
Other side.
Reverse again.
The other way.
And once more.
Now back to the left.
All right, let's get some arm circles.
Arm circles to the front. Come on.
And reverse.
Reverse. Don't forget to breathe. Get a good stretch.
Forward.
Forward.
Reverse.
Reverse. Get a good stretch. Good stretch.
All right, we're gonna cross our arms over our body. Feel the stretch in your back.
Feel the stretch. Stretch it out. To the right.
Very good. Now we're gonna go down to the center and stretch our legs. Over to the side.
To the side.
The other side.
To the other side.
Back to the center.
Stretch it out.
To the side.
To the side. Come on.
The other side.
To the other side.
And a few more times.
Stretch it out. You got this. Come on. Stretch
Once
it out.
more.
To the side. To the other side. To the middle.
All right, we're gonna get a couple lunges to stretch the legs out here and warm up our leg muscles.
We're doing lunges right now. Come on. Stretch those legs out. Down. Down. Come on. Stretch it out.
Couple more, guys.
Couple more lunges. You can do it. Come on. Stretch it out.
All right, a few arm circles get loose. We're gonna do some knee raises across our body. Here we go.
Come on. Stretch it out. Come on.
Switch.
Lift up the knee. Lift it high. Let it meet your elbow.
Switch.
Come on. You got this. You were born to do this.
Switch.
Come on.
Switch. That was a great stretch. Now you're ready to get back to class and do your thing. Fresh start.
All right, good job, guys. Hope you guys like that workout, warm up real quick. Get your legs moving, stretch. So now we're working on our health activity for today. It's how sugar affects the brain.
Picture warm, gooey cookies, crunchy candies, velvety cakes, waffle cones piled high with ice cream. Is your mouth watering? Are you craving dessert? Why? What happens in the brain that makes sugary foods so hard to resist? Sugar is a general term used to describe a class of molecules called carbohydrates, and it's found in a wide variety of food and drink. Just check the labels on sweet products you buy. Glucose, fructose, sucrose, maltose, lactose, dextrose, and starch are all forms of sugar. So are high fructose corn syrup, fruit juice, raw sugar, and honey. And sugar isn't just in candies and desserts. It's also added to tomato sauce, yogurt, dried fruit, flavored waters, or granola bars. Since sugar is everywhere, it's important to understand how it affects the brain. What happens when sugar hits your tongue? And does eating a little bit of sugar make you crave more? You take a bite of cereal. The sugars it contains activate the sweet taste receptors, part of the taste buds on the tongue. These receptors send a signal up to the brainstem, and from there it forks off into many areas of the forebrain, one of which is the cerebral cortex. Different sections of the cerebral cortex process different tastes: bitter, salty, umami, and in our case, sweet. From here, the signal activates the brain's reward system. This reward system is a series of electrical and chemical pathways across several different regions of the brain. It's a complicated network, but it helps answer a single subconscious question. Should I do that again? That warm, fuzzy feeling you get when you taste grandma's chocolate cake? That's your reward system saying, yes. And it's not just activated by food. Socializing, sexual behavior, and drugs are just a few examples of things and experiences that also activate the reward system. But overactivating this reward system kickstarts a series of unfortunate events: loss of control, craving, and increased tolerance to sugar. Let's get back to our bite of cereal. It travels down into your stomach and eventually into your gut. And guess what? There are sugar receptors here too. They're not taste buds, but they do send signals telling your brain that you're full, or that your body should produce more insulin to deal with the extra sugar you're eating. The major currency of our reward system is dopamine, an important chemical or neurotransmitter. There are many dopamine receptors in the forebrain, but they're not evenly distributed. Certain areas contain dense clusters of receptors, and these dopamine hotspots are a part of our reward system. Drugs like alcohol, nicotine, or heroin send dopamine into overdrive, leading some people to constantly seek that high. In other words, to be addicted. Sugar also causes dopamine to be released, though not as violently as drugs. And sugar is rare among dopamine-inducing foods. Broccoli, for example, has no effect, which probably explains why it's so hard to get kids to eat their veggies. Speaking of healthy foods, let's say you're hungry and decide to eat a balanced meal. You do, and dopamine levels spike in the reward system hotspots. But if you eat that same dish many days in a row, dopamine levels will spike less and less, eventually leveling out. That's because when it comes to food, the brain evolved to pay special attention to new or different tastes. Why? 2 reasons. First, to detect food that's gone bad. And second, because the more variety we have in our diet, the more likely we are to get all the nutrients we need. To keep that variety up, we need to be able to recognize a new food, and more importantly, we need to want to keep eating new foods. And that's why the dopamine levels off when a food becomes boring. Now back to that meal. What happens if in place of the healthy, balanced dish, you eat sugar-rich food instead? If you rarely eat sugar, or don't eat much at a time, the effect is similar to that of the balanced meal. But if you eat too much, the dopamine response does not level out. In other words, eating lots of sugar will continue to feel rewarding. In this way, sugar behaves a little bit like a drug. It's one reason people seem to be hooked on sugary foods. So think back to all those different kinds of sugar. Each one is unique, but every time any sugar is consumed, it kickstarts a domino effect in the brain that sparks a rewarding feeling. Too much too often, and things can go into overdrive. So yes, overconsumption of sugar can have addictive effects on the brain. But a wedge of cake once in a while won't hurt you.
Alright guys, that's what sugar does affects your brain. So what we're going to be learning today, students will learn to punt the football using proper mechanics of punting. Ball out in front of you, laces up, hold ball with 2 hands, grip like handshake, take 2 steps forward, drop the ball mid-level, kick and follow through toward the target or into the gym. Activity 1, we're going to have you, teacher, we're going to demonstrate the proper mechanics behind the football, and then students will practice going through steps of playing the football using proper mechanics of punting without a football. So here is activity 1.
So today we're going to learn about punting, and you're going to learn the cues and the steps to properly punt a football. So right now we're going to pretend that we have a ball in our hand, and the ball is going to be out in front of us, and we have two hands on the side of the ball. The football, the laces should be pointing up, and it's almost like your hand shaking with the ball. And then we're going to take 2 steps, and you're going to step with your kicking foot first, so the ball is still out in front of you. So it's 1, 2, you should be bringing your foot back, dropping the ball at mid-level, kicking it, and following it through. So it should look like this. Ball out in front of you, ball's laces are up, your hand shaking the ball. 1, 2, mid-drop, kick, follow through. And that's what we're going to practice.
All right. Okay. You guys are going to get 30 seconds to work on this one. Right. And now, the progression of activity 1. The teacher will demonstrate the proper mechanics of playing the football using a beach ball, soccer ball, or plastic bags bunched together to make a ball. Students will practice the proper mechanics of playing the football using either a beach ball, soccer ball, or plastic bags bunched together to make a ball. Whichever one is comfortable for you guys. Here's an example. Ms. Kinnaman.
Okay, now we're going to use a ball. It could be a beach ball, it could be a soccer ball, it could be a bag with a bunch of bags inside, making a ball, anything that's going to help you work on the steps of punting. So, like I said, the steps were before: ball out in front of you, 2 hands on the side like you're shaking hands. We're going to take 2 steps. You step with your kicking foot first. So 1, 2, mid-level drop ball, kick, and then we're going to follow through. And I am going to show you now.
So that's the example of Ms. Kinnaman.
Okay, now we're going to use a ball.
5 minutes to complete this. Go ahead. Alrighty, I hope you guys got some good work in there. And now Ms. Kinman's going to go with you over the rest.
All right, activity 2, the teacher will demonstrate the proper mechanics of punting the football using a football. Students will practice the proper mechanics of punting the football using a football. And here's a demonstration of what you're going to do. Okay, now we're going to switch to a football. And we're going to use the same steps that I already taught you for punting. Ball out in front of you, 2 hands. This time with the ball, the laces up. You're like shaking hands with the ball. You're taking 2 steps, starting with your kicking foot. 1, 2, dropping the ball at mid-level, kicking it, and then following through. And this is how it should look. And that's what we're going to practice. All right, we're going to practice that for 5 minutes. Now we're going to switch to. So go ahead and practice. Go.
You're muted. Or you're muted.
The next progression, the teachers will explain see, to the students, they need to find a big target and aim towards the target when punting the football. And then the students will practice using the proper mechanics of punting the football towards a big target. And here's a demo. Okay, now we're going to punt towards a target. I have 4 cones set as my target. You can use whatever you have at home to mark your target to punt towards. And as you can see, there's my 4 cones. So it's almost like I'm punting towards an end zone in football, where the receiver would be in the end zone to catch the ball. So that's where I want the ball to land. We're going to go through the same steps that we've been working on. Ball out in front of you, laces up, 2 hands on the ball, shaking hands with the ball, taking 2 steps, starting with your kicking foot, 1, 2, dropping ball mid-level, kick, and then follow through. And then this will be what it looks like. And we're going to practice that. And if you don't hit your target, that's okay. See what needs to be adjusted and keep practicing. And that is what we're going to do for this task. Okay, now we're going to punt towards a target. Go ahead and go. to the next task. The teacher will explain that the students have a choice of what size ball they would like to punt with towards a target, seeing how many times they can hit the target in 3 minutes. Students will use the proper mechanics of punting the football towards a big target, choosing the size ball they feel they will be most successful with, seeing how many times they can hit the target in 3 minutes. And here's a demo. All right, for a combination task, you can choose which ball you would like to use. It could be the beach ball or the soccer ball that you started with, or it could be the football. Whichever ball you're more comfortable with and that you will find yourself to be more successful with. We're going to use the same target that we used in the last task. So whatever you use for the last target, use again for this one. We're going to be the same amount of feet apart, away from our target, about 20 feet out. And we're going to use the same steps. So ball out in front of you, 2 hands, shaking hands with the ball, laces up, stepping with your kicking foot, taking 2 steps, 1, 2, dropping ball mid-level, kicking and following through. All of that facing your target. And we're going to do that seeing how many times we can hit our target in 3 minutes. So it should look like this. We have 3 minutes to practice that skill. The end of the All right, so I have 3 minutes to practice. Go ahead and go. The timer freeze.
Now go.
Do the review. So what are the steps of punting a football? Ball out in front of you, laces up, hold the ball with 2 hands, grip it like a handshake, take 2 steps forward, drop the ball at mid-level, and kick and follow through. You should be able to identify 3 components of punting from what we learned today in our lesson. And then the assessment, students will be assessed informally by Flipgrid by videos themselves demonstrating how to punt the football 5 times. Teacher will review the video and give students feedback on if the student is above grade level, on grade level, or approaching grade level. And there's a QR code in the corner, so you can just go onto Flipgrid and scan that, and it will take you right to the Flipgrid that you need to turn into us. So next class, we'll be learning and practicing route running, and you just need yourself and a football. Good job today, and we look forward to meeting with you guys next week.
See you
Bye.
guys.